Hi, beautiful angels. Welcome to class 10 of Spirit School, all about sound healing. I'm very excited for this class. Apologies if the camera is not in focus. I'm really finding this Mercury retrograde is messing around with my tech, but I hope it is fine. And if it is not, it will still be of value and you can just tune in. Really, isn't it poetic that you can use your sound frequency to receive the wisdom for today? Don't forget that the workbook is accessible and downloadable from the class homepage, and it has all of the resources that we discuss in the class today available in there. So let's start with the basics. What is sound healing? Essentially, it is a practice that uses sound vibrations and frequency in order to relax the mind and the body, which then aids healing in the body. It also allows you to tap into meditative states, high states of consciousness, go on your own hypnotic journey, access higher realms, telepathy, but most of all, we're using it for healing purposes. Now, we don't make any official claims here. Everything in Spirit School is about exploration. So you're exploring sound healing and seeing if it is conducive to you and your ability to tap in to those higher realms of consciousness and to the frequencies of health, vitality, well-being in the body. It is said, however, to heal ailments, to strengthen your psychic abilities, to relieve insomnia, to reduce anxiety and depression, to reduce blood pressure, to increase blood circulation in the body, and also clear respiratory infections. How cool is that? Now, there have been various studies on sound healing, but we don't live in the world of reality here in Spirit School. We live in the higher realms. So it will work for you if you believe that it will work. Sound frequency and sound healing is the healing of the future. I truly believe it. Mark my words. In a decade from now, or maybe not even, sound frequency and sound healing will be more mainstream and used with actual medical practitioners as part of the healing journey. I really do believe that. Now, although it's quite trendy right now and you see the singing bowls and the Tibetan bowls and the gongs and the drums and all of those things, and I'll get into detail in a minute, sound healing is actually a very ancient practice. You know, there is evidence to suggest it's even as old as 40,000 years old. I would suggest even older. So if you look at the pyramids were essentially sound chambers. If you've ever been to Bali, there's this beautiful couple who recreated the pyramids called the Pyramids of Chi, and essentially they became sound chambers, and you do these beautiful sound healing journeys in the pyramids, and it amplifies the sound, and it's tuned in a certain way because of the shape of the pyramid that is the most conducive for healing. It's incredibly powerful. I've been to a number of sessions in Bali at the Pyramids of Chi, and it's very powerful. But ancient Egypt and all the pyramids that are found all over the world are said to be sound chambers, okay? Now, they didn't necessarily have, singing bowls, but they used their own gongs and drums to amplify sound, as well as chanting and singing and humming, vocal sound frequency. You also find it in the Aboriginal communities here in Australia with the didgeridoos, right? Didgeridoos are a very ancient practice, and they were said to be used to heal, right? To invoke a certain kind of experience in the body. It can also take you on a trance-like psychedelic experience as well. They are incredibly powerful. Now, we already know that everything is energy and everything is frequency, and we live in the pattern reality, right? And the pattern reality means that everything has a geometric shape attached to it, sacred geometry. And sound frequency also has sacred geometry. I don't know if you've ever seen the video where someone puts some sand on a table and then uses sound frequency on the table, and the sand starts to morph into sacred geometry. It's very powerful, and different sound frequencies hold different codes that access different parts of the body. And we're going to talk a little bit about a number of them today. Now, what can you really expect from sound healing? If anything, it will just soften your energy field. It will soften your blocks, your resistance, anything that's trapped in the body that needs to be released. For some of you, it will actually aid in healing ailments and disease. For others, it will soften your anxiety and depression. For others, it may just make you feel good, right? It may just be a calming sensation. But there's definitely no harm in sound healing. I've never heard of anyone who has experienced sound frequency healing and had a negative effect. However, you need to be mindful that some sound frequencies are not conducive for our healing. perfect example is actual mainstream songs, radio songs. They're tuned at a frequency that isn't ideal for our body. So it can actually cause a lot of harm to the body instead of offering a healing energy. And have you ever heard, for me, heavy metal is one of those songs. And you know, this is personal, but for me, when I listen to heavy metal, it doesn't make me feel good. I don't feel good because the sound frequency isn't attuned to what's for my highest good, and it doesn't make me feel good. So what do we know? We know that it's an ancient healing technique, and it uses tonal sound frequencies to bring the body into a state of vibrational balance and harmony. So what are some different ways in which you can experience sound healing? So you have your basic, most traditional way that you hear right now that's quite popular, and they are the sound bowls, the singing bowls. So I have one here. They come in different frequencies. The most common are for each of the chakras. Okay, so this one here that I have is actually for the root chakra. It's in C key, but you can get them for each of the chakras. And essentially you go into either a sound chamber or a studio or even in your own bedroom, and you lay down on a yoga mat or something comfortable. You get yourself into a meditative state, and then you start hearing the sound frequency, the sound baths, and it will naturally do what it needs to do. Similar to Reiki, once the sound frequency moves through the body, it does what it needs to do. You don't really need to intend for much. You just instead need to be an open enough channel and surrender into the experience. Now, I'm going to try and play this sound frequency right now for you to hear. Now, I don't know if it's going to be received because of the technology. If it's not, it's okay. I'm just going to play it for a little while. But if you can listen to it, just see what feelings come up for you as I play this frequency. Super powerful. Now again, I'm going to see when I edit this video if you can actually hear that sound frequency. I also have a number of links in the workbook available to access YouTube videos that already play sound healing. You can start investing in singing bowls. They are quite expensive, but I find that they're an investment. Eventually, I want to have all of the singing bowls in a room in my house in which I can just go and play the beautiful sound frequencies. So for example, this one is designed for the root chakra, which means if I feel that I need to ground my energy a little, I would use this sound frequency, right, in order to help me connect in that way. And I could use each of the different sound bowls or singing bowls to connect with that chakra. And I could also play a number of them to tune into various chakras, energy centers, and allow that sound healing to naturally heal what is necessary to be healed in my body. You're essentially bathing in the sound frequencies, the same as if you did like a salt bath or a float. You bathe in the energy, right? You bathe in the clearing or cleansing energy. We are bathing in the sound frequency, so it does what it needs to do. You also have the ancient Tibetan bowls. This is one of the first known methods of sound healing. They're very, very common and popular. This is basically, you have one of these before you have a singing bowl, right? Because they're relatively cheap to buy. You buy them in countries, Southeast Asian countries all over the world. They're very popular there. I remember buying this for my dad, I'm pretty sure in Thailand, and I brought it. And I'm going to again see if I can play this for you. These two are attuned to different sound frequencies, so each one will play a different sound frequency, all designed for healing different energies or calling upon different sound frequencies. You also have gongs, drums, tuning forks, all the singing bowls, the sound bowls, the didgeridoos. We have a few didgeridoos at home. Now, traditionally speaking, didgeridoos should only be played by men. I do really listen to ancient rules, so the fact that all the Aboriginal elders say that only men should play them, I truly believe that that's what's necessary. It could be part of the frequency, the exchange is required for the masculine to practice that. So I really do believe that. So I wouldn't engage in playing the didgeridoo, but you know, if you're around, you can attend sessions in which the didgeridoo is being played. Then you also have chanting and singing and humming. We shouldn't discount our own voice. Now, I'm not a singer. I've been blessed with many things in this lifetime, but singing ain't one of them. But that doesn't mean that I don't have healing frequencies that exist in my vocal cords, so I can express that out. Especially if you watch the plant medicine video, we talk about connecting and singing with the trees. We can do that to heal our ailments. If you want to clear your throat chakra, sing, project that voice outwards. It's the same way that we affirm spells and release them through our sound frequencies and vibrations. Of course, there are sound chambers, but the easiest way to access sound healing is through Hertz frequencies. So you have popular Hertz frequencies, which are 528 Hertz and also 432 Hertz sound frequencies. You also have all your binaural beats, which range between 4 to 8 Hertz frequencies. Now, I've heard a lot of things over the years in which 432 Hertz frequency is actually quite demonic and not conducive for healing. I personally don't believe that. I love 432 Hertz frequency. It works for me, but you listen to your body and feel into what feels good for you and what doesn't. If it starts to make you feel sick, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a bad Hertz frequency. It could just mean that it's clearing energy from the body, right? It will start to help you release blocks as well. So imagine playing your sound frequency while simultaneously affirming your mantras out loud, while simultaneously getting yourself into hypnotic state, while simultaneously using your mudras, all right? How powerful is that kind of healing experience? While using your crystals, while creating your crystal grid, everything that you've learned from Spirit School, and using all of these beautiful medicines and modalities to amplify your spiritual experience and your connection with the divine. It will also help you channel. It will also help you strengthen your telepathy abilities. It will also help you strengthen your psychic abilities. So what are some benefits of sound healing? Obviously, it's super relaxing. So if nothing else, it's going to relax you. You're going to have a nice meditation practice. It's going to relax you. You're going to feel good afterwards. And if that's all there is, amazing. It also helps clear energetic blocks, right? So we have trapped energy in the body. All that is essentially is dense energy around the body. So we have our natural beautiful aura that's in harmony and balance, but then because we take on dense energy throughout our lives, it gets trapped in our energetic body. And so the sound frequency, essentially, it's like a massage for our energetic body, and it massages the knots and the blocks away, all right? Clearing that and moving it through. It's like if you have a block in your pipe, you need to offer it some medicine, right, to loosen it up. The same way if you had a block in your intestines, you would offer it some medicine to loosen it up. The sound frequency is the medicine to tune out and to clear the knots from your energetic field and your energetic body. You may also notice that you feel physical sensations. So your body may start to vibrate, or you may feel certain discomfort in certain parts of your body, or you may have a ringing in your ears, or your head starts to throb. Different physiological reactions. This is normal. This is okay. Allow it to do what it needs to do. Move beyond it. It should never cause you any kind of physical harm or pain. If there is, obviously snap out of it, come back into your conscious state, but it's very unlikely. Most of the time, it's quite pleasant to experience, and let your body feel those sensations. Obviously, it improves your health. It boosts your health. Now, we don't make any claims, as I mentioned, but there has been plenty of evidence to suggest that it will improve your overall health and well-being. It will reduce your anxiety and depression. It will reduce your blood pressure. It will help you sleep in the evenings. It basically is a decompressor, right? Because it attunes you back to the natural frequency of the earth. Binaural beats are said to be the frequency of earth, of the universe. And so that's why I find binaural beats super powerful. I have all of this listed in the workbook with links to YouTube videos so you can access and listen to a series of different sound frequencies and see which feel good to you. Again, my word isn't gospel. I want you to tune into your own frequency and see what feels good. And you may be tuned into a certain frequency now, and in a year's time, it shifts and you need a different frequency. Play in this space. It also supports mental, spiritual, and emotional well-being, okay? Because it tunes you into heightened frequencies and higher states of consciousness. The idea behind all of it is to restore balance, okay? Because we are naturally in harmony with the universe. We are naturally in alignment. We're born in alignment, but we take on dense energy. So it's essentially clearing that from our energetic field in order to restore balance. It's a super, super powerful tool. So you also have a sequence of Hertz frequencies known as the Solfeggio frequencies, and I'm going to list them now to you. I've got the list here. You have 396 Hertz, which is said to liberate guilt and fear. You have 417 Hertz, which is said to undo situations and facilitate change. You have the 528 Hertz, which is said to aid in transformation and miracles. The 639 Hertz, connecting relationships. 741 Hertz, awakening intuition. 852 Hertz, returning to spiritual order. And 963 Hertz, which is divine consciousness or enlightenment. Now, I have all of this listed in the workbook as well. And again, there are no rules. I want you to just play in those spaces and see what kind of feelings and emotions are evoked within you as you listen to these frequencies. So where do you start? I would first start with the YouTube videos, listening to the sound frequencies. If you resonate deeply with sound healing, and I really do feel that you will, I then want you to start investing in things like the Tibetan singing bowls, tuning forks, sound bowls if you can afford to invest in them, gongs, drums, whatever you're called to, and just start playing. And remember, you don't have to be a musician. You just play, and whatever comes through comes through. There's a reason why we, bop to music, because we can feel it in our bodies. It becomes our vibration, and we tune into the vibration of it. You also have the mantras that you use during yoga, right? So you have each chakra is assigned a mantra. And basically to tune in or to clear that chakra, you use that sound frequency. Have you ever wondered why we say when we're thinking? Because that is a mantra. Because what it does is it allows us to recall a memory. Okay, how powerful is that? You may not have even known that you've been practicing sound healing and sound frequency your entire life. And that is one of them. So each of the different chakras are assigned a mantra. I have them all listed in the workbook as well. I just want you to say them out loud, and you can use them as a moving prayer. You can say them each in a row as well as you meditate, and you can chant, and you can use your own hum to activate certain codes and unlock certain frequencies in the body. Over time, you may be called to experience sound healings and sound ceremonies, and I highly recommend you attend them if you can. We've hosted a number of them, and they're always super powerful because you're basically in a room where everyone is focused on receiving this beautiful sound frequency, and they're very powerful. But you can also just partake in them at home on your own. If you do listen to binaural beats, I highly recommend using headphones. It's not good to be in the actual energetic space because it can be distorted by the sound frequencies that are already exist in the space. So I highly recommend using headphones. Most other frequencies are fine to be in the space, but binaural beats specifically need to be listened to with headphones. I really hope you enjoyed today's class. It was more of the energy and the reasoning behind sound frequency. I have all of the frequencies listed in your workbook with links as well. Start feeling into what experiences are evoked as you listen and tune into sound frequency. You also may want to add it to your healing Bible from our healing class because it is essentially sound healing. So it is a very powerful tool. You may want to, call upon all of them as part of your medicine cabinet if you wish. All the gongs and the tuning forks and the bowls and the drums and whatever else, and your own chanting. But start really using sound frequency because it is a powerful tool. It is ancient medicine because before we had things, we had our voice. And so we used that to communicate and to connect, right? The same way that the birds communicate through their song, we are communicating with each other through sound frequency. And we have distorted sound frequency into words, but the original meaning are just sound vibrations. And that's what we're tapping into. I adore you. Enjoy this class and enjoy the workbook, and I will see you on our next class. Bye.